You know how annoying that little buffering wheel is? Interrupting a video.
I'm so sorry. You're just gonna have to wait. You're just gonna have to wait.
Waiting for it to finish loading can quickly feel like time wasted, time you'll never get back. Prolonged loading or unloading times at a pickup or drop location can take an even more damaging toll on truck drivers as they look to maximize their fleeting on-duty service hours. For you, taking too long to load or offload your freight can come at the expense of your budget, making it difficult to make the most of your shipping dollars and maintain your timelines. You'll want to avoid this where you can. Let's talk about how. Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Road. Hi, I'm Eli with ATS. In today's video, Brandon will tell you everything you need to know about your loading times, how they impact your price, and what you can do to make the most of your budget in the future. Let's jump over to Brandon for the details.
Thanks, Eli. Today we're going to talk about how the loading and unloading time can impact your bottom line. Let's get into it. Why do loading times matter? Carriers like to fit the loading and unloading times exactly to how their driver wants. So when you have, as a shipper, you have these times and it matches up to the carrier, it really helps them be a little more efficient and then helps out with your rate. With loading times and unloading times, if there's any sort of a delay or it's change in production, any sort of example like that, it can really kind of cause a chain reaction with that carrier's plans as far as this load and possibly their next load as well. Your reputation is a big factor when it comes to loading and unloading times, because when this carrier sees a load come across or they see us represent it to them, say if they want it, they can bring up a past instance where maybe it took longer than it should have, and that impacts your bottom line. Loading times matter because carriers plan out their trucks in advance. Some days, 1, 2 days, sometimes even weeks. So whenever there's a delay or something impacting loading or unloading, it causes a chain reaction, causing further delays and deficiencies. How do loading times impact the price you pay? Loading times impact the price you pay because it all correlates to when the drivers are available. As an example, you have a load that needs to pick up at 8 a.m. on a Monday, it's gonna be tough because a lot of drivers are getting empty from that previous Friday's load. The reason for this increase in rate for the loading times really comes down to supply and demand. There is a demand for an 8 a.m. pickup appointment. This carrier that can pick it up, they know that. They know that it's a pretty strict schedule. Now they know that they can increase the rate. That's why it will cost more. Another way loading times can impact your bottom line is a prolonged wait at that shipper. Detention is an industry standard that after 2 hours of that driver being at the shipper, there's a charge that incurs for every hour after that. Usually goes by the half an hour increments. And then that's what the driver's paid for waiting past the agreed amount. Another aspect to a prolonged waiting charge at the shipper is a layover. That is where maybe there's some issue where this driver can't get loaded today anymore. Something came up and the shipper works with the customer. We need to pick it up the next day. That is typically, as an industry standard, a $250 charge. A third aspect that can increase the cost to the driver is a driver assist fee. Sometimes shippers do not have the manpower or not the kind of facility built to load the trucks. That is where the driver typically takes a pallet jack and rolls the pallets inside the trailer for the shipper. And then lastly, a truck order not used or a TONU. That is where a driver arrives to the shipper or is typically within 2 hours of pickup. Sometimes it can be earlier. It's really a case-by-case basis with that carrier and that customer. Is typically another $250 charge if they get to that shipper and the load is no good. How to avoid paying more for your freight. For this section, there are 4 main methods. The first method is give the right shipping information. The second method is have your shipment ready for transit. A third, make sure you find a partner you can rely on. And then lastly, give proper lead time. The first method is giving the correct shipping information. So with the correct shipping information, that really depends on what this shipment needs to get from point A to point B correctly. Usually this means with open deck is, does this load need to be tarped? Also, does it need to be chained or strapped? And then really common with dry van shipments is pad wrap. Does this shipment need blankets? And then also, again, does this shipment need straps to keep this order inside the trailer from moving around? Having all this correct shipping information right away will be really beneficial because everybody will be on the same page from point A to point B Therefore, less cost to you and your customer. Having your freight ready for transit is really important because, like we said earlier in this video, these carriers have plans. They have schedules that they need to stick to, and when there's one thing, it really causes a chain reaction. So having that freight ready is really, really important. The right way to have your freight ready to go when that truck arrives is having it staged. When that truck arrives, the less time that they spend there loading is more time they can have on the road delivering your product, getting it to your customer. Staging your product means having this product right on the dock, whether it's pallets. It's usually pallets when it's staged, say you have 16 pallets, it's in a line ready to go just like it sits in the truck. You have it at the end of the dock, ready to roll. Finding a partner you can rely on is very important because it really comes down to communication. Each party, from the customer to the broker to the carrier, we all need to know the accurate information. We all need to know what's going on. This is transportation. We all know that things pop up, things change. A great partner adjusts with you and gets it done exactly how you need it done. Another aspect is a good partner will watch out for you. They have your best interests in mind. For example, that could mean you needing a drop trailer last minute. We can talk with the carrier, we can work with them on it and adjust. That is what a good partner will do. Giving your provider proper lead time is crucial because it comes down to that carrier's clock. That is the hours of service that those drivers have to stick by. One example is you having a load that needs to pick up next day and it needs to drive 500 miles within the same day. Having proper lead time on that notice of that load is very, very important. We need to find a driver that is fresh on hours, can pick that load up right away in the morning and deliver straight. Another part of lead time is trailer shortages. With everything happening, coronavirus, increased demands, ports filling up, trailers are at an all-time high in demand. So that means any short notice on an order needing to be moved will be much harder to fulfill on our end. So proper lead time, 1-2 days would be perfect. We can coordinate with our partners and make sure that all your needs are met. Communicate with your broker, let them know what's going on. That'll allow them to adjust and make it happen for you.
As you now understand, cutting down your loading times is a crucial piece of maximizing your budget. Without managing the amount of time a trucker sits around waiting for your crews to finish, accessorial fees can quickly add up as their on-duty service hours are being wasted. Too often, shippers overpay for their freight simply because servicing it didn't help a trucker maintain their schedule. An operational procedure called first come, first serve, where drivers are given a window of time to arrive and then loaded according to their arrival order, can sometimes help to mitigate these issues. For a bit more information about first come, first serve, including its benefits and how you can put it to use for you, check out our video on first come, first serve for a bit more information. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Beyond the Road. If you haven't already, smash the like button and subscribe to our channel. We'll see you out there.